Imagine being born into a world that quietly decides your limits before you even understand your own potential. Imagine growing up surrounded by invisible rules that tell you how far you can go, what you can dream, and what you must accept. Imagine realizing one day that those limits are not laws, they are opinions. This is where the story of Indra Nooyi truly begins. Not as a CEO, not as a global leader, but as a young girl growing up in Chennai, India, in a middle-class family, with no shortcuts, no influence, and no safety net. From a very early age, Indra understood something that would later define her entire life. Comfort does not create greatness. Struggle does. Discipline does. And courage does. While many around her were encouraged to live predictable lives, she quietly developed an unpredictable ambition. She was not rebellious in words. She was rebellious in effort. She studied harder, thought deeper, and dreamed bigger than what society expected from a girl. Growing up in a conservative environment, she faced limits that were never clearly spoken but were deeply felt. Limits that suggested leadership was not meant for women. Limits that implied global power belonged to someone else. Limits that tried to quietly shape her future into something small and safe. But Indra did not accept those limits. She questioned them internally and defeated them through preparation. She learned early that if the world doubts you, the answer is not anger. The answer is excellence. Education became her greatest weapon. Knowledge became her shield, and resilience became her identity. She attended Madras Christian College, where she proved that intelligence has no gender and ambition has no borders. She stood out not by demanding attention, but by delivering results. Her professors saw her hunger, her classmates saw her discipline, and slowly the world around her began to notice something different. Then she made another bold move. She chose business at a time when very few women did. She earned her MBA from the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, one of the toughest and most competitive institutions in the country. Walking into classrooms dominated by men, she felt the pressure, the judgment, and the unspoken doubt. But instead of shrinking, she expanded. Instead of questioning her place, she strengthened her skills. Every late-night study session, every challenge, every silent battle trained her mind and hardened her resolve. She never asked whether she belonged. She asked how excellent she could become. That mindset separated her from the rest. After completing her studies in India, she faced a choice that would change everything. Stay comfortable or step into the unknown. Indra chose the unknown. She left her home, her culture, and her support system to move to the United States to attend Yale's School of Management. This was not just a move across countries. It was a move across identities. In America, she was not just a student. She was foreign. She had a different accent, a different background, and a different story. There were moments when she felt invisible, moments when she felt underestimated, and moments when self-doubt tried to creep in. But Indra had already learned a critical truth. Growth demands discomfort, and destiny demands courage. At Yale, she did not merely study business. She studied leadership, strategy, decision-making, and long-term thinking. She absorbed lessons that went beyond textbooks. She learned how power works, how influence is built, and how vision shapes organizations. She was not preparing for a job. She was preparing for impact. After Yale, she entered the corporate world, a place that was not built for women like her. She began her career at companies like Motorola and Asia Brown Boveri, where performance mattered, but perception mattered more. She quickly realized that delivering results was not enough. She had to deliver them consistently. She had to work harder, speak smarter, and think further than those around her. She faced rooms where her voice was doubted before she spoke, and decisions where her ideas were questioned before they were understood. But instead of allowing frustration to consume her, she turned pressure into precision. She learned that success does not need noise. It needs consistency. She learned that preparation silences prejudice, and results silence doubt. Every challenge trained her. Every rejection sharpened her. Every obstacle strengthened her. She did not rush success. She respected the process. Then, in 1994, her journey took a defining turn when she joined PepsiCo. At the time, she was not famous, she was not powerful, and she was not the face of the company. But she was something far more important. She was observant. She studied the company deeply. She questioned assumptions. She analyzed trends. She saw what others ignored. She recognized that consumer behavior was changing, that health awareness was growing, and that companies that ignored long-term realities would eventually collapse. She raised concerns. She suggested transformation. She pushed for healthier products and sustainable practices. But vision often makes people uncomfortable, and many resisted. Her ideas challenged comfort and threatened short-term profits. But Indra believed leadership was not about popularity, it was about responsibility. She understood that protecting the future matters more than pleasing the present. She stayed firm. She communicated clearly, and she backed vision with strategy. Over time, her insights proved correct. Her reputation grew, not through self-promotion, but through impact. She became known as someone who thought ahead, who made difficult decisions, and who understood both numbers and people. Then came the moment that redefined history. In 2006, Indra Nooyi was appointed CEO of PepsiCo, one of the few women, one of the few immigrants, and one of the few people of color to ever lead a Fortune 500 company. This moment was not accidental. It was the result of decades of preparation, discipline, and courage. As CEO, she did not chase short-term applause. She introduced a bold philosophy called performance with purpose, a vision that balanced profit with responsibility, growth with sustainability, and success with values. She believed companies must serve shareholders and society at the same time. Under her leadership, PepsiCo evolved. The company expanded into healthier products, strengthened its global presence, and embraced long-term thinking. She led with clarity, empathy, and strength. She listened before she decided, and she planned before she acted. She wrote personal letters to employees, parents, thanking them for raising leaders. She mentored young professionals and championed diversity, not as a trend, but as a necessity. She proved that leadership does not require aggression, and authority does not require ego. Her presence alone challenged stereotypes. Her success rewrote expectations, and yet she remained grounded, never forgetting where she came from, and never underestimating the power of humility. Indra Nooyi's journey is not just about corporate success, it is about inner strength. It teaches us that background is not destiny, struggle is not weakness, and patience is not delay. It teaches us that dreams demand discipline, success demands sacrifice, and excuses demand nothing. Her story reminds us that obstacles do not block destiny, they reveal it. If a girl from a middle-class home in India can rise to lead one of the largest corporations in the world, then limitations lose their meaning. Your accent does not define you, your gender does not limit you, and your starting point does not decide your finish. What matters is whether you are willing to work when no one is watching. whether you are willing to believe when no one is encouraging, and whether you are willing to rise when comfort tries to hold you back. Because history does not remember those who waited. It remembers those who acted. It remembers those who refused to be small. It remembers those who chose courage over comfort, vision over fear, and purpose over limits. And this is only the beginning of the lesson, because the real question is not what Indra Nooyi achieved. The real question is what you will choose to become, period. What you will choose to become is the most important decision of your life, because Indra Nooyi's story does not end at becoming a CEO. It truly begins there. When she stepped into the role of leadership at PepsiCo, she did not see power as privilege, she saw it as responsibility. She understood that every decision she made would impact thousands of employees, millions of consumers, and the future of the company itself. This awareness shaped every move she made. She did not rush decisions. She respected long-term vision. She believed leaders are not measured by quarterly applause, but by lasting impact. Under her leadership, PepsiCo faced massive global challenges, shifting markets, changing consumer habits, economic uncertainty, and intense competition. Yet Indra did not panic. She stayed grounded in principles. She focused on building a company that could survive, not just the present, but the future. She expanded healthier product lines, reduced environmental impact, and invested in sustainable innovation. Long before sustainability became a global trend, she made it a corporate priority. Many criticized her. Some said she was moving too slowly. Others said she was thinking too far ahead. But Indra understood something most leaders fail to grasp. Short-term comfort creates long-term collapse, and long-term vision creates lasting power. She stood firm, even when pressure mounted. She believed leadership is lonely, not because of power, but because of responsibility. As a woman in one of the highest corporate positions in the world, she faced scrutiny that few men ever experience. Her decisions were judged more harshly, her mistakes magnified more loudly, and her confidence questioned more frequently. But she never allowed external noise to shake her internal clarity. She did not try to become someone else to fit expectations. She stayed authentic, calm, and focused. She showed that strength does not require dominance, and leadership does not require fear. She balanced global strategy with human empathy. She believed numbers matter, but people matter more. She took time to listen to employees at all levels. She valued culture as much as capital. She believed that companies do not grow, people grow companies. One of the most powerful aspects of her leadership was humility. Despite global recognition, awards, and influence, she remained grounded. She often spoke about her parents, her upbringing, and the sacrifices that shaped her journey. She never forgot the struggles of being underestimated, and she used that memory to uplift others. She mentored women, minorities, and young leaders, encouraging them to believe in their potential, even when the world doubted them. She did not preach motivation, she lived it. She proved through action that leadership is not about being seen, it is about making a difference. Her journey teaches us that success is not a destination, it is a responsibility. When Indra eventually stepped down as CEO, she left behind more than financial growth. She left a legacy of purpose, values, and courage. She showed the world that business and ethics can coexist, that profit and purpose are not enemies, and that leadership can be powerful without being destructive. Her story forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. It tells us that excuses are easy, but discipline is rare. It tells us that talent is common, but commitment is uncommon. It tells us that many people dream, but very few decide to act. Indra Nooyi did not have a perfect path. She had doubts, failures, pressure, and fear. But she moved forward anyway. She did not wait to feel ready. She prepared until she was undeniable.
Today,
She did
Dubai
not
stands
allow
as a living
background
lesson
to become
for
a
the
barrier.
world, showing that
turned it into
geography
strength.
does not decide
She did
destiny,
not allow obstacles
and limitations
to define
exist
her.
only in
She
the
allowed
mind.
them to refine her.
From a small
This
fishing
is why her
village
story
to a
resonates
global
across
powerhouse,
cultures, the journey of
borders and
Dubai
generations
proves that vision,
because it
when
is not
combined
about
with
discipline,
it
can
is about
rewrite
becoming.
history.
The city
is
did
about
not wait for
choosing
perfect
growth
conditions
over comfort.
It created
Courage
them step
over
by
fear,
step, and
decision
purpose
by
over
decision.
approval. Modern Dubai
Her
is
journey
a center
reminds
of
us
global
that the world
finance,
does not
tourism,
change for those who
trade,
wait
innovation, and culture.
It changes for those
Skyscrapers
who prepare
like Burj
relentlessly.
Khalifa symbolize
changes
more
for
than
those
height.
who refuse
They
to
represent
shrink.
belief,
It
rising
changes for
above
those
doubt.
who decide that
The
limitations
skyline
are
tells a story
negotiable.
of confidence.
Your
while
life
the
right
streets
now
reflect
may
diversity,
feel ordinary.
ambition,
Your
and relentless
circumstances
motion.
may feel restrictive.
Every corner of
Your
Dubai
environment
reminds
may feel
visitors
discouraging.
that this city
But
was
Indra
built by
Nooyi,
people
life
who
reminds
refuse
us
to
that
accept
greatness
impossibility.
rarely begins
The
in
economy
comfort.
today
It
is driven
begins in
largely
quiet
by non-oil
determination,
sectors.
late nights,
Tourism,
unseen effort,
aviation,
and the refusal
logistics,
to quit
real
when quitting
estate,
feels
finance,
easier than
and
continuing.
technology
You do not
contribute
need
the majority
permission
of
to
growth.
dream. You do
This
not
strategic
need
shift
validation to start.
ensured long-term
You do not
stability.
need perfect
Dubai
conditions to
learned.
rise.
Early that
All you
dependency
need is the
dangerous,
decision
and
to commit
diversification
fully
is
to your
survival.
growth.
The city
outwork your
transformed
doubts
itself
and to stay
into a
consistent
platform
when
where
motivation
global
fades.
business flows
Because success
smoothly.
is not
Dubai's
built on
population
inspiration
growth
alone.
reflects its
It
magnetism.
is built on
Millions
discipline
chose
repeated
Dubai
daily.
not by birth,
It is built
but by
on
belief.
patience, practice.
They came chasing
endlessly.
opportunity,
It is
safety,
built on
and
belief,
growth. Protected
the city
fiercely.
rewarded effort.
If
Indra
not
Nooyi
background,
could
creating
rise
a
from a
merit-based
middle-class
environment
home in
where
India
performance matters
to the
more than
CEO
origin.
office of a
This
global
open
corporation,
mindset strengthens
then excuses
innovation
lose
and
their
productivity.
power.
Infrastructure
Your gender does
continues
not
to
decide
evolve
your
with worth.
world-class roads,
Your accent
ports,
does not limit your
airports,
future.
and digital networks.
Your starting point does
Dubai
not define
invests
your
ahead of
destination.
demand, believing that
What
preparation
defines you
creates
is your
advantage.
willingness to endure
Smart
discomfort,
transportation,
to learn autonomous
continuously,
vehicles,
and to
futuristic
stand
urban
firm
planning
in your vision,
shape the next chapter
even
of
when
growth.
others do not
The
understand.
city plans not for
The
tomorrow,
world does not
but for
reward
decades
potential.
ahead.
It rewards
Dubai
execution.
also plays a key
It
role
does not
in regional
celebrate
and global
intentions,
diplomacy,
celebrates
acting
results.
as a neutral meeting
It does
ground
not
for
remember
dialogue,
comfort.
trade,
It remembers
and cooperation.
courage. So
The
ask
city
yourself
hosts
today,
international
not
summits,
what is
peace
easy,
talks,
but
and
what is necessary.
economic
Not what
forums,
feels safe, but what
reinforcing
feels
its
right.
position as a bridge
Not what others
between
expect,
cultures
but what
and
you
nations.
are capable of becoming.
This diplomatic
Because
strength
history is not
adds
written
another
by
layer
those who waited.
to its global
It is written by
influence.
those who acted,
Challenges
by
still
those who
exist.
believed, and
Global
by those
competition,
who refused to be
economic
small.
cycles,
Indra
climate
Nooyi's story
concerns,
is
and
not meant to
technological
impress you.
disruption
It is
require
meant to
constant
awaken.
adaptation.
You,
Dubai
Dubai,
does not deny these realities.
greatness is not reserved for a
Instead,
select
it faces them with
It is
strategy
available
and
to
speed.
anyone willing to work
Policies
for it,
are reviewed,
sacrifice for
systems
it,
upgraded,
and stay committed to
and
it.
leadership remains
When fear
directly
speaks louder
involved
than
in
confidence,
execution.
remember her
This
journey.
agility keeps
When
Dubai
doubt tries to
resilient
slow you
in
down,
uncertain times.
remember her
Youth
discipline.
empowerment,
When comfort
entrepreneurship,
tempts you
and
to settle,
innovation ecosystems
remember her
are
courage.
expanding.
And when the world
Startups
tells you
receive
to
support,
stay in your
funding,
place,
and mentorship,
remember that
turning
she never
ideas
did.
into impact. The future does
Dubai
not
belongs
encourages
to the
creators,
loudest or the
builders,
luckiest.
and risk takers.
It belongs
understanding
to the most
that
prepared.
the future belongs
It
to
belongs
those
to
who
those
experiment.
who stay focused.
This culture
when others
ensures
get
that
distracted.
progress never
It belongs
slows.
to those who
Cultural
rise
identity
quietly
remains
and lead with
protected
purpose.
alongside
So
modernization.
do not wait for the perfect
Traditional
moment.
values,
Do not wait for
hospitality,
approval.
respect,
Do
and
not
unity
wait for confidence.
continue to define
Start
society.
now. Grow
Festivals,
daily,
heritage
and
sites,
choose courage
and national
again and
initiatives
again.
preserve
Because
history
somewhere
while
in the
inspiring
future, the
pride
world
among
is waiting for
citizens
the
and
impact
residents.
only you can
Dubai
create.
proves that modern success does not require cultural erasure. The story of Dubai is ultimately a story of mindset. When others saw desert, Dubai saw opportunity. When others waited, Dubai acted. When others feared risk, Dubai embraced calculated boldness. This mindset turned sand into skylines and challenges into chapters of success. For anyone watching this story, Dubai sends a clear message. Your beginning does not define your ending. Resources do not create greatness, vision does. Location does not limit ambition, belief expands it. Dubai was not built overnight, and it was not built by chance. It was built by leadership that fought long-term, people who worked relentlessly, and a vision that refused to shrink. As Dubai looks toward the future, with plans for innovation, sustainability, space exploration, and human development, one thing remains certain: the journey is far from over. The city that rose from silence will continue to speak through action, inspiring generations to dream beyond boundaries. This is the history of Dubai, not just a city, but a statement to the world that with courage, clarity, and commitment, even the impossible can be built from nothing.